What's going on, guys? Team 3D Alpha. School is over, finals is over, so great news. A lot of videos coming up. First video, which is this one, is to answer the question: what is the best rep range to put on mass? I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. Best rep range to put on mass, I will tell you, is 6 to 8 from experience. Now, I know a lot of people say 10 to 12, including myself when I first started. That's because I used to read it in magazines. I used to hear it from friends, and I used to just watch workout videos online and see that everybody was doing 10 or 12, and that was the common thing. But I realized through experience that 6 to 8, especially if you're bulking, 6 to 8 reps is the best rep range to put on mass. And I'll tell you why. Now, two people, one doing 6 to 8 reps on the bench press, going to failure around 6 to 8, he needs a spotter to do like the last two or whatever, and another person doing 10 to 12 reps. If they both lift, given everything else is equal, if they both lift for a year, just common sense, who do you think is going to be bigger? The guy was going to failure at 6 to 8, meaning he's lifting really heavy weights. Jesus Christ, man, stop moving. Or the guy that's doing 10 to 12. Now, obviously the guy that's doing 6 to 8, without a shadow of a doubt. He's releasing more testosterone, he's lifting heavier, and he's resting longer, obviously, to be able to lift 6 to 8 again. Now, a lot of people say, well, there's people that are doing 10 to 12 and are getting gains. If you're doing 10 to 12, you're still going to get gains. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say you're not going to get gains. But the 6 to 8 guy, given the fact that he's eating his calories, he's getting his sleep and his nutrition, is going to get bigger and stronger. Stronger muscle is a bigger muscle, and vice versa. How do I know that? Myself. When I stopped doing bitch ass 10 to 12 and I went to heavy, dirty 6 to 8 reps, with proper form, obviously, I started blowing up in my full body workout splits and shit like that. Because what I was doing is full body workouts, you can't do a lot of volume. I would do one for shoulders, one for chest, one for every body part, and I was lifting heavy in the 6 to 8 rep range, and I was putting the weight down, going on to the next body part, about 3 sets each. My body started swelling. You need to lift heavy to put on muscle. 10 to 12, you're going towards the endurance route. And I know a lot of studies say 10 to 12. I'm getting so pissed. Fuck studies, man. I'm telling you guys what works from experience and from looking at my friends in general. I wasted so many months on my bulk doing a typical 10 to 12 because every bodybuilder was doing it on YouTube. I'm going to tell you another thing. Even when you see bodybuilders, pro bodybuilders doing 10 to 12, if you look at most of these videos, 99.9% of those videos, they're pre-contest. In fact, supplement companies record their workouts pre-contest to use psychology on you. So it's a marketing technique because pre-contest they look ripped and shredded. So they figured if we advertise this product when this bodybuilder is at his best, people will link the product to the physique. That's why if you notice, if you don't believe me, go on YouTube. Most workout videos of bodybuilders that have to do with supplements are always pre-contest when they're ripped. Very seldom you will see a video of a bodybuilder working out in the off season. Very seldom, unless he's uploaded it himself. And that's the reason why most people think, well, 10 to 12 is the only rep range because bodybuilders are doing it and they're big as fuck. 10 to 12, they're only doing that in pre-contest because at that point they're on a calorie deficit. So there's no point to do 6 to 8 reps heavy to failure. They're gonna get injured. They're dehydrated as fuck because they're trying to get flush the water out and shit like that. If they lift 6 to 8 in that phase of their season, they're gonna get injured, and it's a waste of time because they're not gonna get any bigger anyway. They have a calorie deficit. Another reason why they do 10 to 12 in that pre-contest phase is because they're trying to bring out the detail in the muscle. They're already big. They worked on the size of the muscle during the off season, not during the pre-contest. They're trying to bring out the detail, so they're doing a little bit more reps. But yeah, in the off season, you look at most bodybuilders in the off season, they're doing 6 to 8 reps. Don't listen to what nobody tells you. In fact, I did so much research on this shit. I would look for videos of bodybuilders in the off season, which is very hard to find because they don't want to show you all that fat. And the ones I found, in fact, I found some of Phil Heath, some of other bodybuilders. They're all doing 6 to 8, sometimes even 5 reps on every exercise to put on muscle. But yeah, they tell you 10 to 12, 10 to 12. 10 to 12, you're wasting your fucking time. Go lift some heavy ass weights with proper form. Eat, train, sleep. You're gonna put on a lot of gains. 6 to 8 is the best rep range to put on muscle. Another thing about I remember I was watching a video of Brent Warren because this guy had big shoulders, and I was looking for like a way to increase my shoulder mass. And they asked him at first, they were like, "Hey, what's the best rep range for military presses?" Because he says that the reason why his shoulders are so big was because he did a lot of military presses to even his physique because he had big legs and small upper body. And he said he did a lot of presses. And they asked him, well, what's the best rep range you recommend? He said 10 to 12, 15, 20, whatever, because shoulders like tension, blah, blah, blah. But if you watch the interview later on, he says, Well, the reason why the guy asked him, well, I thought heavy weights build muscle. He says, oh yeah, you're right. I used to do 6 to 8 when I wanted to get to the physique I am now. The reason why I stopped doing it is because I'm so strong that in order for me to do 6 to 8, I have to use too much weight, and it's gonna, lead to injury. So it's just not worth it. Meaning, if he was still trying to get his shoulders big, he would still be doing 6 to 8 reps. That tells you right there. Use your logic. And he also implies that he was doing it before. Meaning, don't look at bodybuilders and what they're doing right now, because they already have the physique that they wanted. They're not trying to put on mass. Most of them, they're trying to bring out detail. Most of them are too big anyway. They're trying to bring out detail. So don't copy their workouts. That's why I don't copy bodybuilders' workout routines, unless I know exactly what their goal is. Most of them already have big shoulders, so they're doing 10 to 12 to bring out the detail in each head. For your case, 6 to 8, man. That's what they're all day to get big. You do 6 to 8, whether you're natural or on pro hormones, it's the same concept. Heavy weights. Look at marathon runners and look at sprinters. Look at their legs. Look at the difference in the muscularity. A sprinter only sprints for like a few seconds, then stops. So his body gives him that explosive, those fast twitch muscle fibers to just get the job done and take a break. Marathon runners runs like a motherfucker. That's why his body's so skinny, because his body has to get smaller to be able to conserve as much energy as possible, and he doesn't need to exert that much force. But a sprinter needs a lot of force over a short period of time. That's why you need to lift in the 6 to 8 rep range, where you using a lot of power in a short amount of time, and you resting and going back and forth. Look at football players and look at soccer players. They're both on a big ass field. What's the difference? Soccer players run back and forth, up and down the field. Football players sprint, tackle, block, stop. Sprint, stop. Sprint, stop. Any sport where you're going intense for a short amount of time, your body will make you muscular, big, strong. Because you have to lift in that 6 to 8 rep range. You have to lift for power, not just 10 to 12. All that. People say, well, if you do 10 to 12 for hypertrophy, yada yada yada. 6 to 8. Listen, guys. People that say that 10 to 12 is for muscularity or whatever, hypertrophy, 6 to 8 just gets you big. What decides the muscularity of your body is your body fat percentage. All right. A guy that lifts 6 to 8 rep range, a football player, a power lifter, right? You cut that nigga to 6% body fat, he's gonna be just as lean and ripped. Maybe there might be a little difference in the detail. I'm trying to tell you guys, the muscularity comes to body fat percentage. 6 to 8 will get you big, big and muscular. And muscular. That's right. I said it. You heard it from Team 3D. And I don't care if I'm not fucking certified. I did enough fucking research. I'm so mad because I read so much of this crap for years, and I kept copying what people were doing online, and I wasn't getting no gains. So I started using common fucking sense and reading people. Like, if you listen to Dorian Yates, this guy's no bullshit, man. One of my most respected bodybuilders. Dorian Yates, Kevin Levrone, they'll tell you straight up. 6 to 8 rep range, best rep range to build muscle. Another example is look at animals. The animals that sprint and stop, are so fucking muscular. Look at a lion. Look at a cheetah. A cheetah can run a lot faster than a lion and a lot longer. But who's more muscular? The lion is. The lion only sprints for a few seconds and stops. But look at that motherfucker's tricep. It's fucking insane. Because he only needs to explode and take down his prey or his opponent, and that's it. Go to sleep. Look at an elephant. Look at rhinos. Look at gorillas. Look at the most muscular behemoths. They they do nothing almost. They just do a lot in a small amount of time and stop. And look at the long distance animals. Look at gazelles. Look at wildebeest. Look at all the animals that run all fucking day. They're skinny as fuck. It's just a basic evolutionary principle. If you only need to do a lot in a small amount of time, your body will make you big and muscular. You need to do a lot in a long amount of time, body will make you smaller. So when you go to the gym, apply that. Human beings are really animals if you think about it. We're just a different species. So when you're training, think about that. Go in the gym, hit the muscle hard, 6 to 8 rep range, heavy, 3 sets max, and get the fuck out. I train like Dorian Yates now. Like, I have volume days, don't get me wrong, I have high volume days, but that's when I'm trying to bring out detail. But as far as trying to get big, 6 to 8 rep range. I go in and I'm out. 45 minutes to an hour max if you count stretching and all that shit. But anyway, hope that answers your question. Especially skinny guys out there, you're trying to get big. Stop wasting time doing fucking push downs and curls and one-arm rolls for 10 to 12. Grab you you want a big back? Grab you a barbell. Do some bent over barbell rolls. 6 to 8 rep range, force reps, rest pause. You want big shoulders? Military press. Don't sit there trying to be all cute and shit. Oh, look, I'm gonna do arm presses and all that shit. Yes, they work, but Heavy compound movements in the 6 to 8 rep range are so much more efficient. You want to have strong legs, do squats in the 6 to 8. Matter of fact, do leg presses or hack squats if you want your lower back to be safe. But anyway, this video is too long. Hope that helps you guys. I love sharing my research with you guys because all I do is research. I hate being lied to. So I research, I look at natural bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders, regular niggas in the street. I ask people in the street questions, and based on all the data I gathered, 6 to 8 intense workouts, very short, are the best way to build muscle. Team 3D Alpha, dominate.